If you're watching this video, you most definitely have a waifu. You know, there's that one anime girl that just captivates you for some reason. Maybe you're into girls with great personalities, or hell, maybe even two great personalities, or maybe you like children. Either way, everyone likes anime girls, but all in a different way. Different strokes for different folks. I myself have my own waifus, but through the years, my waifu rosters have changed, and only then do I think, why do I like anime girls? And today, I want to explain with real science, with real factual science, why we like anime girls. Let's begin. Now, I'd like to divide this theory into two parts, the internal and the external. Both of them relatively self-explanatory, so to start with the external side of waifuism, let me ask you two questions. Why do you find things cute? And why are you attracted to girls in general? Cause fellas, let's be real here, when you watch my videos with this VTuber model, you aren't making eye contact with me, are you? Generally, as men of culture here, we find things like bright eyes, full lips, clear skin, and facial symmetry attractive in women because evolutionarily speaking, they are an indicator of health, and I'm not talking about the Max Payne band. So when you're looking at a bad bitch in the club and you're thinking, damn, she bad as hell, that's because our ancestors looked at those same bad bitches and thought, damn, they bad as hell. But the difference is they lacked food at the time, and a lot of things were just generally lacking in their life around that time. So from a Western standpoint, girls with thick thighs, big asses, and a nice set of headlights are attractive. Those things were quite lacking for your ancestors. And it signified wealth, it signified status. It signified that she had a lot of access to food. Presumably, it just carried over to the modern day. Though remember fellas, if she's wide, has a nice set of headlights and a cute smile, that's not your girl, that's a McLaren P1. On the east side, things like smooth and light skin were valued because that meant you didn't have to do a lot of work. You didn't go outside because you were too rich to go outside. Nowadays, that's debatable because I'm broke as hell and I don't go outside. But then a general principle is that people like what's exotic, something that isn't easily attainable. The grass is greener on the other side, as they say. Now, to answer the second question of why you find things cute, like dogs, cats, rabbits, etc., is because they act and look like babies. It's this thing hardwired in humans called the baby schema or Kinshin Shima. Basically, features like a round face, large forehead, a big head in general, round cheeks, a small nose, and small chin are all features present in a baby. That's why we find them cute. Plus, if you've seen how babies act, they are actually so dumb that it's cute. Sometimes they're just so annoying that you just want to launch them into the stratosphere, Team Rocket style. Now, to round this back to anime girls, you can immediately see how concepts like these are applied. Anime girls have big round eyes, a big round head, and big round mommy milkies. But you will notice that these features are exaggerated and emphasized in certain anime characters, and you will trigger a different response depending on how you go about it. If you emphasize the cuteness of a character, you'll trigger more of a paternal protective response from people. Think Haru Urara, Rice Shower, Kanakamui. But if you emphasize more, let's say, attractive features, then you will not be able to make eye contact with me, right? See, this concept is called a supernormal stimulus, which basically means that the features that a person likes is exaggerated and therefore elicits an exaggerated response. And anime does a good job at towing the line between full-blown cartoon and reality. Which is why it works so well and has worked so well at attractive, lonely, sweaty, degenerate gooners like you. But of course, a nice and attractive anime girl is one thing, but all of that is nothing without a personality. That's where the internal aspect of liking anime girls comes in. You see, when you interact with media like anime, you get to witness and develop this parasocial relationship with the characters. You watch them, you grow with them, and if they're written well, you get to fall in love with them. Sure, you don't need to get to know the character if you just want eye candy for the tiny man down there, but I swear that a well-written character can make you fall for even the simplest designs in anime. That's kind of why the dairy personality types even exist. They're there for you to fall in love with. Of course, assuming that the writing of the characters are half decent. On the flip side, the same things that I said about anime girls can also apply to husbandos. There's also that aspect of escapism that simping for anime girls brings along with it. If you were to simp for a real girl in the same way that you simp for anime girls, it would be significantly more pathetic because there's some kind of weight behind liking a real life person who wouldn't and will never love you back. If you simp for anime girls, that's a given. There's a barrier of that she's not real, she won't ever love me back. Just think, if I were to buy figurines and plushies of, let's say, Ariana Grande, wouldn't you think that's way more weird than if I did the same thing with, let's say, Hatsune Miku? So, in conclusion, we like waifus because they are not real. They can be whatever you want them to be, should you have the drawing skills to do so. And you fall in love with them the more that you interact with them, whether that's by talking to them in your media of choice or watching their story unfold in anime. Also, they're very hot and very cute, depending on your preferences. But then, there's still one more question to ask. Is it healthy? I don't know. Instead, let me tell you a story that you may already know about. Akihiko Kondo is a guy who had a less than fortunate life. He was rejected by girls he liked when he was in high school, and when he was at work, he was bullied severely to the point where he could not bear to work anymore. It was too much for him until he found Hatsune Miku. He fell in love with Miku. He took comfort in Hatsune Miku, and this led to the notorious incident wherein he held a wedding ceremony with Hatsune Miku. He bought a Gatebox hologram which allowed him to talk to Miku. He bought a life-sized figure of her, and eventually he was able to gain the strength to get back on his feet. Now, people will see this and say things like, "He's why Japan's birth rate is declining," or "Bro needs to find some hus, man." But let's be real here for a second. For real. Depression is a bitch. More than you could possibly ever know. You may just think that going to the gym, eating healthy, and checking a certain list will help you through it, but sometimes it just doesn't. Keep in mind, this guy was bullied in the workplace and didn't have much luck with women in high school, so obviously, he needed an emotional crutch to at least help him get back on his feet. He didn't need to fight back, he just needed a reason to get back up. And Hatsune Miku was his reason. Of course, waifus can be a way for people to find their own community as well. If you're in the Genshin community, you're most likely aware of that one time when Furina fans in China rented out a whole mall just to make it Furina themed. Where it gets unhealthy, of course, is when you overdo it. Like I said earlier, anime girls have exaggerated features, whether it be attractive or cute, and you most likely goon to that. But then you will eventually grow numb to it, and worse, you won't be able to get it up on the rare occasion that you actually meet a woman in real life. For example, Mad Thad. Everyone knows him as that guy from Weeaboo cringe compilations who sang happy birthday to his waifu Kotonoha Katsura. Again, much like Akihiko Kondo, he was a lonely and introverted guy, but except this time, he blessed the internet with a sex tape of him and his Kotonoha body pillow, and he was arrested for possession of child See, there comes a point. Now, clearly, these two gentlemen have something in common, which is that they are lonely guys who found a sense of escapism in anime girls. Anime girls, my friend, are the perfect romantic partner, after all. There's no emotional baggage, no maintenance. They're hot, they're pretty, they're cute, and most importantly, they're hot. I'll make another video sometime soon. Bye-bye. May not mean nothing to y'all, but understand nothing was done for me.